The Prince and the Pauper, Burger King edition. Once upon a time, there was a good and kindly Burger King. He ruled his country with fairness and generosity. But one day, the Burger King became very ill and could no longer watch over his kingdom. His son, the Prince, worried by his father's bedside. "Aha," said the greedy captain of the guards. "Now my friends and I can steal from all the Burger King's subjects." And day after day they filled up the palace with mountains of food and trunks of gold. It seemed that nobody could save the kingdom from the thieving captain. Then one day, two peasants hoping to find something to eat wandered near the palace. It just happened that one of the paupers, Mickey, looked exactly like the Burger King's son, the Prince. But this beggar boy's life was not like the life of the Prince. Mickey had no fine clothes to wear, nor a fancy palace to live in, but he did have two loyal friends. One was a bumbling fellow named Goofy, and the other was a large, friendly dog named Pluto. Mickey and Goofy watched as the captain of the guard sped by in the royal coach. "Look at those delicious turkey drumsticks," sighed Mickey. "Woof, woof," barked the hungry Pluto as he chased the coach toward the palace. "Stop!" shouted Mickey. "Come back!" He dashed away after the dog. Pluto chased the royal coach to the gates of the palace, with Mickey right behind him. To Mickey's surprise, the royal guard waved him in and called him Your Majesty. "Our prince is certainly dressed oddly today," thought the guard, "and he's got himself a new dog, too." By now, Goofy had lost sight of Mickey and wondered where he disappeared to. Meanwhile, inside the palace, the real prince was sitting through a boring lesson. To amuse himself, he took out his pea shooter and aimed it at his servant Donald. "Whack!" shouted Donald when he got hit. He shot a pea back at the prince, but he missed the prince and hit the tutor, who tossed him out of the room. At that moment, all of them heard a loud crash near the palace entrance. They ran to see what the noise was and saw a suit of armor rolling around on the floor. "I'm sorry," said a voice inside the armor. "I guess I got tangled up." Then the prince saw a face peering out of the helmet, a face that looked exactly like his. Both the prince and the pauper screamed. After Mickey explained who he was, the prince took him into his room so they could have a talk. "Oh," sighed the prince, "how happy your life must be. You never have to take any boring lessons and you can wander and play all day." "But you go to feasts all the time," said Mickey, whose empty stomach was growling. "I have a wonderful idea," said the prince. "Why don't you and I change places for a day?" Mickey hesitated. "I don't think that would work at all. I don't know how to be a prince." "Oh, it's easy," the prince assured him, and soon Mickey and the prince had exchanged clothes. Then the prince gaily waved goodbye and dashed out the door of the palace. This time the captain of the guards, seeing a boy who looked like a peasant, angrily booted him and his dog over the wall and into a snowbank. "Ha!" the prince chuckled. "My disguise is working. My own guard didn't recognize me." But the prince didn't fool Pluto. A quick sniff and a closer look told the dog this boy was not his old friend. Pluto sadly walked away. "Hey, there you are," shouted Goofy. "I've been looking all over for you." "Ah, hello," said the prince. He did not know the pauper's friend and quickly rushed away. Back at the palace, Donald brought food to Mickey's room. Mickey, very hungry, reached for it, but Donald snatched it away. "I'm checking for poison," he said, biting into a turkey leg and smacking his lips. The smell of food was driving Mickey crazy, and he was afraid Donald would eat his entire lunch. "Thanks," said Mickey, grabbing the leg back from Donald. Then he pushed the duck out the door and slammed it behind him. "Now it's time for your falconry lesson," said the tutor, showing Mickey how to control the bird. But instead of making the falcon fly, the angry bird chased Mickey and made him fly in the opposite direction. The horseback riding lesson didn't go any better. Mickey kept falling off the horse. Meanwhile, the real prince had decided to try sledding through the snow with the peasants. Unfortunately, he tripped and tumbled down the hill, becoming a giant snowball. The prince rolled and rolled and rolled down to a busy marketplace, and there, to his astonishment, the prince saw the captain of the guard stealing food from the peasants. "Stop!" ordered the prince, but the guards didn't recognize him and kept on stealing. "I had no idea our guards were taking food from the people," said the prince. "There'll certainly be some changes when I get back to the palace." Just then a royal food wagon appeared. "Give these people food," the prince ordered the guard, showing him his royal ring. "Yes, sir," said the guard when he saw the ring. But the cruel captain and his men came dashing through the crowd, trying to steal the food right back. They shoved the people and the prince as well. Luckily, Goofy came along and helped him to escape. "You saved my life," the prince said gratefully. Just a few minutes later, the town crier came by and announced that the good Burger King had died. "I must go to the palace right away," said the prince. "I will miss my father greatly, but now it is my duty to take over as Burger King." "Gosh," said Goofy, "you're the prince? I didn't know. I thought you were my old buddy Mickey." "I am your friend from now on," vowed the prince, as he rushed away toward the palace. At the palace, the prince was greeted by the captain of the guards. "I see your royal ring," the captain said, "but it won't do you any good." He grabbed the prince and tossed him into the dungeon. "As soon as the pauper is crowned Burger King," said the captain, "I shall unmask him as an impostor and rule the kingdom myself." The prince soon discovered that he had company. Donald was in the dungeon too. The prince stared at the locked door. "If I don't get out in time for my coronation, our kingdom will be ruined." Just then the door down the hall opened and a prison guard rushed in. He was a very strange guard who stumbled and bumped into everyone. He bumped hardest against the other guard, who tumbled right down to the floor. "Hi, Prince," the guard giggled. "It wasn't a guard at all. It was Goofy." "You saved my life again," said the prince. Then the prince took the keys and unlocked the dungeon, and everybody dashed out. Meanwhile, in the throne room, Mickey was trying desperately to wriggle away from the royal crown. "Please don't put it on my head," he begged. "He is not the prince," yelled the evil captain. "He's an impostor. Seize him." "But I am not an impostor," came a voice from the balcony. It was the real prince. The prince was crowned Burger King, and his first act was to arrest the evil captain and all his scheming friends. Everybody in the kingdom was happy again, especially Pluto, who was reunited with his old friend Mickey. From that day on, the new Burger King, like his father, ruled with kindness and generosity. He always remembered his day as a pauper, and he saw to it that nobody went hungry. He made Goofy captain of the guards, and Mickey became the provider of food. Together, they created a wonderful kingdom for all.